allow me to welcome today's MCs who are going to lead our discussion throughout this hour. Honestly, to know them is to love them, so they don't really need much of an introduction, but joining us from Virginia and Texas today, here's a virtual high point high five to our Style Spotter advisors, Gary Inman and Shay Gear. Take it away.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, everyone.
We're so thrilled to be with you guys today and share these fabulous finds from our amazing team of Style Spotters. It's their first season with us on the team, and it's a pretty amazing group, huh, Gary?
Absolutely, and thank you to all the manufacturers. So many incredible products, and you'll be able to look at the Style Spotters boards on Pinterest following this presentation, and it really looks like they outdid themselves, so it's an exciting time. I'm sorry we weren't there together last month, but we're going to make it happen now.
Yes.
Great. Before we get started with introducing the team, I do want to thank our sponsor, Studio Designer, for their ongoing support of the Style Spotter program. To share a few comments today, I'd like to welcome Keith Granite, the CEO of Studio Designer, the leading digital project management, product sourcing, and accounting platform for the interior design industry. In addition to leading Studio Designer's team, Keith is also a celebrated author of 2 books on the business of design and creativity, as well as a business consultant to the industry's preeminent designers and architects, and co-founder of the Leaders of Design Council. And Keith, thank you so much for supporting us, for joining us today. We'd love to hear a bit from you.
Thanks, Gary, and thanks, Shay, and thanks to Style Spotters. We really appreciate being a part of this. I think do I need to share my, sorry. Can you see me?
Yes.
Sorry, the internet's acting a little spotty around here these days, but sorry about that. We're thrilled. Last year it was our first time we sponsored Style Spotters, and it was such an amazing event. We definitely wanted to do it again, and we were very disappointed that High Point got canceled, but we also know the importance of everybody staying safe and healthy, and as I like to say, staying sane, which has been tough for everybody. I think it was my first High Point I've missed in 12 years. And it was very sad to see that happen. But we know it'll come back, and we're excited. And we think it's absolutely awesome that you guys were able to pull this off and to put this together. And I understand we have like 1,000 people online, so that's really fantastic. So we're really glad to be sponsoring this. I just wanted to share a little bit about Studio Designer in that, we have been growing during this period because most people need to work from home, and we're doing all kinds of initiatives to help people understand, what's happening in the industry, as well as just, keeping on upgrading and adding new features to our platform. We are going to be introducing a re-envisioned vendor platform or vendor portal that will start in July, where you'll be able to communicate directly with your vendors in a very robust way. So we're really excited about that initiative as well. I do want to share with you 2 things that we've been doing during this sort of stay-at-home moment. And that was, we first had a contest, and I think we have a slide for that. Thank you, Ashley. That shows that we asked people who were staying at home to create a work-from-home background. And we had 3 winners, with Donna Hoffman of Donna Hoffman Interiors, Josh Rose of Form, and Lauren from Nate Burkes's office. And we were very excited. They each won a free year subscription, and we had quite a few submissions to it. So it was a really fun contest to ask people to be creative about what their background should look like. And then the second one, which we're really excited about, is connecting your community. I think we have a slide for that as well. And so we have been asking designers and manufacturers and industry leaders to talk to us. So it's a one-on-one interview every Wednesday for Studio Design members to log into. And we first had Gail Singer from Visual Comfort and Circa Lighting, and Alex Schufert from Century, designer Tom Stringer from Chicago, Philip Richard of Philip Jeffries, Louis Heathcote from Nicole Hollis, Tom Andrews, who's a leading coach that I've used for years on leadership, Meg Tauborg on marketing, and next week we have Chad Stark, who's going to be talking about what's happening at Stark and Scalamandri. And then following that, we have the new president of Holly Hunt, Mark Safran. So it's really exciting, and it's a 45-minute question and answer from them, and then we open it up to the audience. So really excited to have all these experts share with you what they're doing in the industry. Just for instance, Alex Schufert of Century said that during the time that we were talking, all of his trucks were delivering food because they weren't manufacturing at that particular time, and all of their upholstery department was making masks. So people are doing amazing things to help each other. So with that said, I'm going to let you get on with your program, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to be able to sponsor you guys, and I'm really proud to be a sponsor and proud of what you have accomplished. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Keith. We're so excited to have you as a sponsor, and very excited about all of the things happening with the studio designer. So that's amazing to hear. So without further ado, we are going to introduce our amazing team of 2020 Style Spotters to you. So starting with Rachel Cannon. She believes the world of interior design has left the introvert out, and it's time to change the conversation. Working with introverted professionals with demanding schedules, Rachel guides clients to lean in at home and in their businesses by helping them harness the unique capabilities and needs as introverts.
Perfect. So an avid globetrotter, Nancy Fire calls New York City home, but always keeps her finger on the pulse of global trends through her design company, DesignWorks International. She has also she has 30 years of experience and was formerly the design director for HGTV and HGTV Home, and recently launched her latest endeavor, nancyfire.com. I'm so excited, Nancy. She's offering creative and strategic services to brands in the industry. I'm signing up. Thank you.
All right, next we have Joanna Hawley-McBride. She's a Seattle-based designer, blogger, stylist, and digital influencer. Her talent, her curation has earned her a Pinterest following that totals 3.8 million. And her frank, funny, and fashion-forward approach to content creation has made her site jojotastic.com a go-to resource for modern yet casual lifestyle inspiration. You guys have to check her out on social media.
Perfect. Okay. Don Ricardo Massenburg Jr. is recognized for his use of lush layered bedding and sumptuous textiles and home decor. He has had a lasting dream to do something that he loves and enjoys so much that it doesn't feel like he's working. And Don Ricardo believes that he has experienced that dream while building his Durham, North Carolina-based interior design company, Design Incredible. Welcome aboard, Don.
Next up, we have Rachel Moriarty. She's an award-winning designer based in San Diego, California. She embodies bold design in not only the spaces she creates, but also her personal style. Her vibrant designs have been featured in publications including Vision Magazine and San Diego Home and Garden Lifestyle, as well as on HGTV and the Design Network. Love her vibrant, bold personality.
Yvonne Ronderos from DKOR Interiors is a full-service residential interior design firm based in Miami with projects internationally and also concentrated in the South Florida region. Welcome aboard.
Next, we have Victoria Sanchez, has been creating one-of-a-kind interiors for hundreds of prominent clients over the past 30+ years. She has recently relocated from her hometown of Alexandria, Virginia to Santa Fe, New Mexico, where she has opened her new showroom while servicing her clients nationally.
And Keisha Turner is an award-winning interior designer who creates enduring, fashionably classic designs. A graduate of the Rhode Island School of Design, her New York City-based full-service interior and product design studio, Keisha Turner Design, offers expertise in residential and commercial interior design and has produced environments for numerous high-profile clients across the country. Thank you, Keisha.
All right, so let's jump right into the conversation. We're going to chat about our favorite products that would have been seen at this past spring market. So you're going to see a few of our favorite picks on the slide throughout the conversation, but our style spotters have been hard at work adding many, many more to their Pinterest boards. So even after this, there's so much more to see. So we invite you to check out all of their Pinterest boards that just debuted this morning. So check them out after the webinar today.
And also, if you wish to see more new products from the spring, be sure to visit the products and trends section of highpointmarket.com, or .org rather, for both our new products picks section and from our partners, which compiles product previews from several industry partners such as Steelyard's High Point at Home program and Elle Decor's spring market coverage and more. You'll find the website as a treasure trove.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's start talking what the style spotters found this market. Okay, so starting off with our case good category, first we have the iconic TV cabinet by Theodore Alexander. So Keisha, this was one of your spots. Tell us why you chose this. We have her on mute. Oh, Kita, can you turn it off and mute?
Yep, sorry about that.
There you go. Tell us why you picked this fabulous piece.
Yes, hi. I picked this piece. It spoke to me for several reasons. One, I love the rounded edges because I think that's very big now. I think that we are moving away. Well, I don't want to say moving away, but I think we are infusing softer edges and curves into our homes these days. And I also love you can't really see it on this photo, but you'll have to go to my Pinterest board because I did add in a few other angles and some close-ups. But we have, it has so many elements that I love. It has figured veneer woods, inlaid brass details, and even it has some leather strapping along the edges, just which makes it a phenomenal piece that's would be a conversation starter in any home.
Absolutely, it's definitely a statement piece. So how would you use this in a project?
Well, I like to mix styles. So as we go through some of our other favorite picks, you'll see that I have selected, and even from my Pinterest board, you'll see that I've selected items that are very minimal or modern to rough textured, or, I have something in my board, which is a farmhouse cabinet. To very plush and sumptuous upholstery pieces. So I like to mix it up. I think that, I would work this in with items that are, something from the outdoors, or as well as you'll see as we go down, some vintage pieces. So I just think that makes a space more interesting. I would probably have a connective color theme or a color palette throughout, so it makes sense. But I like my spaces to look collected over time and as if they weren't coming from the same showroom.
Great, thank you. Okay, so next we have Rachel with the Moriarty with the Bowen bar cabinet from Shayla Copus's new collection with Chelsea House. So Rachel, tell us a little bit about what drew you to this piece.
Well, first of all, I think the color was the first thing. Shayla was supposed to launch this her first collection with Chelsea House at the spring market. And this color Alexandrite, she's calling it, just spoke to me. It was just so popping. This is a bar cabinet, and I think it's just gorgeous. It's traditional with a touch of glam. And statement hardware is something that we're seeing big right now. And she took this flower bauble and just blew it up. And I just love it.
Yes, that hardware is insane. So give us some ideas of where you could use a piece like this, a bar cabinet.
So I think now, especially more than ever, we're going to be entertaining more in the home. I personally love a little boho glam. So I think I would add some texture to it, some textured chairs next to it, maybe some caning or rattan, and I would fill it with vintage, do the old and new high-low mix with it.
Perfect. That was a great selection. So next we have Don Ricardo Massenburg, the 4-hand Sorella 9-drawer dresser. I love this piece. So tell us a little bit about what made you select it.
I like this piece because it's simple and sophisticated, but still chic. With the base, it almost looks like it's floating. It's a matte white lacquered finish, so it's just clean and simple, but then you have a granite top, which you don't see often in a storage piece, like especially for a bedroom. The hardware is oversized acrylic, and so those are beautiful. And then the frame is iron, so it's an antique brass finish. And I think it's really hard to make, a dresser or case goods look amazing. I mean, it's normally just a square or rectangular box. And so the added details with this piece and the metal base, the stone top, your acrylic hardware, give it that little push to take it up a notch or add a little zhuzh. Some of my friends say that. So I feel like it would work with a lot of the families that I work with because it's kind of gender neutral. So it's simple in frame, wood and metals, and neutral. So he'll enjoy it. But then it has like the brass that gives it a bit of sheen. And then the oversized acrylic hardware gives it that little bit of bling that every woman loves, right?
And we could all use a little zhuzh in our lives, I think, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so next we have Victoria's pick from Noir, the Miko chest. So super interesting. Let's hear why you selected this as one of your spots.
So, as we mentioned, I now live in Santa Fe, and I've really started changing up my aesthetic. And this spoke to me so loud and clear for the clients here in this area. We're very much into natural, organic. Everything is about art here. So to me, this chest looks like a piece of art, which, from the way they've put it together, it just speaks for itself. It's a marbled grain teak wood, which I think is so beautiful. The color is gorgeous. And the base is so organic. It reminds me a lot of our mountains here. We're at the base of the Rockies, and so there's a whole lot of outdoor people. They always tell me they go hiking, and I'm inside drinking my coffee. But this really speaks to our topography here. It's hand-carved burl wood, and they're calling it erosion, and I think that's a great description. And the hardware, they didn't stop with the case. They continued, and it's like a brutalist style, and it's an antique brass. I thought it was super groovy.
I agree. That's very cool. One thing I'm noticing in the chat is a lot of people are asking if we could please mention if the pieces shown are customizable, if you could change the finish and that sort of thing. So if you know those details, maybe point them out as we're going through these.
Okay.
Well, let's go to the next line down. Hickory White, Rachel Cannon. This is a great piece. Tell us about it.
Thank you. I think so too. So one of the things that I feel like is crucial as a designer is you can't overlook an opportunity to create sort of some drama in a space. And the reason why we as designers go crazy whenever a furniture company introduces something like specialty hardware, because that is an opportunity to introduce a little bit of a moment in a room. And so, like Shay said in my introduction, I do work primarily with introverts, which I know seems crazy, but what I'm learning the more I do this is that we're not wallflowers, and we do all still want a little drama in our spaces. And so even if it's sort of understated and quiet, I think this particular piece of case goods is a quiet piece, but that hardware really is kind of a showstopper. So I felt like if I were designing a space for one of my clients, this is definitely an area where I could sort of push them a little bit to embrace, you know, some quiet drama.
Great. I love the flow of the hardware as well. It feels almost water-like. Really,
It
really
does,
quite
yeah.
special.
Yeah,
Did they offer it in another colorway other than white?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I couldn't figure it out either, so don't feel bad. I looked at the website. I couldn't quite determine it. It's a really lovely selection. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would say
Nancy
that's a great
Fire,
point.
let's talk about the Hawley Buffet from Uriba. Sorry.
Absolutely. So, you know, this piece doesn't photograph well, but what I love about it is their ample storage is incredible. I mean, pieces today, it's really hard to find a piece that actually gives you the storage that you need. And this piece does, but the finish is incredible. So it's an oak veneer finish, but it's in a unique charcoal wash. So the charcoal's great. Unfortunately, the picture doesn't give the justice, but what's cool about it is there are brass pull tabs for the hardware. So I live in an 1890 farmhouse outside the city when I'm not in Manhattan. And a piece like this is perfect because it allows me to have as much storage as I possibly can, because the house I'm in pretty much has no closets and hardly any storage. So I picked this because sustainability, the way it's made, but also because the ample amount of storage it allows me, and just a little like zhuzh with the brass like pull tabs, which I thought was just very, very interesting.
I love the vintage quality of those. It had a kind of period feel, but yet it's a very simple, clean line as well.
Exactly.
And,
That's exactly.
and I live in a 100-year-old house, Nancy. I understand what you mean
Right?
about storage.
Yeah. It's like,
You know, the
it's very
closets are
storage.
tiny. Yes.
So when you find a piece like this that you know, it's really 100% storage. So I thought it was just a great use of material and also, you know, functional.
Great selection. Wonderful. Let's have a look at the Galapagos console. And Yvonne, tell us about that piece. I love the curves.
Yes, so we chose this piece because it's from an Ecuadorian designer based out of Miami, and she and her daughter have a new collection called the Galapagos collection. And all of their pieces have a really nice, soft approach to the typical contemporary piece. And as we were mentioning before, we're seeing a lot of curves in the pieces. It's not so straight lines. So this is a nice way how it can still be, a piece can still be simple. It can be placed in a more modern or a more clean aesthetic, but it still has a lot of personality. It comes in a lot of different wood finishes, which is great when you're trying to mix, you know, different color tones. And it has a really durable quartzite material on the top. So even though it is a marble finish on the top, it's easy to upkeep, and it's not going to give you problems down the road. So we really like this piece.
Quartzite is great also for contract work. We use it a lot in hospitality design because it gives you the luxury of marble, but with none of the issues in terms of maintenance.
Yeah, it's actually from the granite family. So the typical granites are a little bit more busy. We're not using as much of it. So yeah, you're right on. It's one of those go-to materials that we're using more and more also in kitchens and bathroom countertops. So it was nice.
I love that.
That could be placed in a furniture piece and still look really classy. So she has a lot of beautiful pieces in that collection that I suggest you refer back to.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love that piece. And Joanna Hawley-McBride, I love Club Q. Tell us about this great console.
So for me, small spaces are my jam. I live in 640 square feet. So ever since buying my house, I've been really focused on small spaces, especially for the younger generation and helping them decorate and get inspired for those spaces. I especially love this piece because it has that element of something handmade, which automatically makes a space feel more special, and then has just a small amount of storage, which I'm pretty sure we could all use. And then it also has these really beautiful, subtle details, like the solid oak that is in a natural finish, and then carved drawer pulls and the square legs that have just a slight taper.
It's wonderful. Club Q is a hidden secret. How did you find them?
I have scrolled through every page of the High Point website.
Very good. I always worry about the manufacturers who are doing such great products, but maybe they're not in the central grid. I believe they're on Church and definitely worth going over to see their showroom. Incredible products, lighting, and antiques as well.
I pretty much loved all of their new pieces that they listed on the site, and I think they're all on my pin board because I was so obsessed.
Yes, lines, lovely selections for this board. Thank you guys so much. Should we go to upholstery, Shay?
Let's do it. Let's talk about some upholstery finds.
Yes.
Okay, so this one really speaks to my taste and my design heart. The Halo chair by Nathan Anthony Furniture, wonderful manufacturer. So Joanna, tell us a little bit about what drew you to this piece.
So I was immediately drawn to this just because shades of blue tend to be my signature color. I use that color range everywhere, but it's also Pantone's color of the year. So it's definitely a huge trend that I'm seeing across the board, not just for upholstery. But what I loved so much about this chair is that it's a nod to so many different trends that we're seeing, where there's that postmodern playful design, there's the use of the bold statement of the like hyper saturated blue, and then it really is a functional piece in that it would be a great accent chair or dining chair.
I love that. Yeah, I could see that as a vanity chair. That's a great find in that color. You're right. This is sort of like an electric blue, and I agree with you. I could use any shade of blue all day long. So that's perfect. Great selection. So, okay, so now we have the nap sofa designed by Andreas Steidl from La Savidina. I'm hoping I didn't butcher that too bad. So tell us a little bit why you picked this one.
Thank you, Shay. I'm so glad I was wondering the same thing. I hope I don't butcher that name. The nap sofa, for obvious reasons, was actually one of my favorite finds of I would say all times. I want this sofa. And I totally recommend that people not only go to my Pinterest board to see all of the other angles and the close-ups, because this photo does not do this sofa justice. This was released, I think the end of last year by Andrea, and it's a beauty. It definitely evokes exactly the namesake. It makes me want to crawl up and take a nap or sit back and watch my favorite movies. When you go and look at the close-ups, you'll see it has some dart details, and these around the edge are these like kind of oversized welt details. It feels like a pillow. And as we know, the very curvilinear sofas and chairs and everything with rounded edges is huge now. But what I liked about this is that if you're not into that, or if you don't want a curved sofa or it doesn't work in your home, because even though they're beautiful, I don't know how comfortable they are in terms of sitting back and kicking my feet up. But this, you still get your linear lines, but all of the edges are exactly like a pillow. It's overstuffed. It's voluminous. It's beautiful. And also you can't really see it here, but the legs are kind of like a tubular dial shape, which is another trend that I'm seeing a lot of. So
love it. So, and I actually just noticed in the comments that La Savidina this is their first time showing in High Point. So you guys are going to want to make sure to check that manufacturer out for sure. So next we have another piece from the Nathan Anthony Furniture Companies at the Embrace sofa. Don Ricardo, I'm really not surprised. This is a super sexy sofa. Tell us why you picked it.
It looks like a huge hug. It looks so comfy and so stylish at the same time. So it's inspired, vintage inspired by the polar bear sofa, upholstered to look like a big plush toy, and I think it does. they were able to achieve like the exaggerated round shape by sculpting the foam with a cheese grater, you guys. And so that's crazy. And then it's upholstered in a thick Italian chenille fabric. So it's plush, it's fun to touch, it feels amazing, but it's also customizable. It's perfect for cocooning, and that's kind of what we're all doing right now in our own homes. So, and then a thing about Nathan Anthony, they work with very talented craftsmen. And so they spend so much time on the details, welting, and all that goes into upholstery. And that means a lot to me because I started in the industry working with an upholsterer, learning his ways. And so that's awesome. This particular sofa is crafted from sustainably harvested alder wood, and they're using recycled batting and spring coils. And so kudos to them for just doing their part to focus on sustainability. And then also, this sofa was featured on eldecor.com as one of the 13 most desired sofas for High Point Market. So it's awesome.
That's great. I love that. I love that you were talking about it being a giant hug. That is such a great selling point to that. I'm going to have to use that sometime. And then next we have the Highland bed by Sunpan. Vonne, tell us a little bit about why you chose this gorgeous bed.
Yes, so we chose this because, I mean, this is just like the perfect little black dress. It can go with anything. It can be paired up with any style. It doesn't have to be the feature item, but it still looks thoughtful. Repetition is something that our clients love. You know, they're always asking us for slats or for things that they just see a lot of repetition in. So it's one of those timeless ways of applying it in designs that we love a lot. It's offered in a really beautiful lush upholstery, and it can be done in any upholstery. And I think it's a great piece that can be complemented with some accent nightstands or some really bold light fixture. So it's the perfect beginning to a well-balanced room.
Yeah, I love the lines of that. It's a really good looking bed. I love how the footboard too, it doesn't come up like too high. So a lot of style to that piece for sure. Gary, you want to pick up on Rachel's selection?
Sure. Let's look at Mo's home collection. Rachel, tell us about this lovely herbaceous piece.
It is herbaceous. So more and more, our clients are wanting to design secondary private living rooms like adjacent to their master bedrooms. And so I've started calling them quiet rooms. And this sofa, I just loved that it's sort of petite, and it, like Don Ricardo was saying, the one that he loves sort of looks like a hug. I felt the same about this one. So I just like this idea of sort of a private little retreat where you can go and recover from your day. And it's not the main living room. It's not the family room. There's no TV in there. It's just sort of a quiet space where you can go read, take a nap, whatever. And I'm short, so I love small furniture. I feel like I would fit perfectly on that sofa. Lie down, sit up, read, whatever.
It's a lovely piece. The British have a word, snuggery, and it's really just, a little retreat for the couple. And this makes me think of a snuggery.
That's cute. I like it. Yeah.
It's a really lovely selection. Thank you.
Thanks.
So Nancy Fire, let's talk about your vegan apple leather from Gus Design.
Yeah, so I feel like the queen of sustainability this year, and that's really been my focus. I'm in the middle of doing a sustainable certificate right now, a green leader with High Point. So I'm very excited about this. So this piece really spoke to me because of the apple skin vegan leather. And learning about leather and how it's produced and what it does to the environment. I was so excited to see that Gus was actually working with apple skin, because a lot of companies are not. And this is also available in chairs, so it's custom. You can do it in a modular and also chairs. But it just spoke to me because I felt like it's so nice to see that people could use apple byproducts to actually make sustainable finishes for home furnishings. And it just made me so excited that High Point is really into sustainability at this level by working with vegan apple skin. So I was excited. I think all these choices are beautiful. My choice was really focused on the sustainability and where High Point's coming to right now.
How does that intersect with performance as well?
Actually, it's a great question. The performance is fabulous. And more, these sustainable finishes are becoming so recognized in the home. So the wear is fantastic, and you know, it doesn't wear on the earth. So it's like a win-win. It's really a plus.
I love that, particularly in commercial work where we go through so many units.
Absolutely.
We really need to be responsible and use products like this.
It's true, and we're seeing this in the commercial arena because between WeWorks and people being sustainable in these public places, this is something that we see going forward. So I think Gus is on the forefront. I was just so excited to see it as an offering for the spring market.
Thank you for celebrating sustainability. It's such an important message.
Thank you.
Perfect. Rachel Moriarty, I love color. Your board is so exciting to look at. So tell us about the Isabella sofa of James by Jimmy De Laurentiis.
Okay, and I just want to mention, I'm seeing it also in the comments, I'm seeing case goods up on the screen. I don't know about everyone else, or if Ashley can double check that. So the Isabella sofa is, there we go, is by James by Jimmy De Laurentiis, and I love just the fashion details of this. It's got contrasting black details, buttons. Isabella is just so beautiful in her sangria velvet, and me as a maximalist, I would use it as a layering piece, but it's so beautiful and minimal. It could just stand as a statement piece on its own.
Absolutely. The color is truly stunning, and the silhouette to me feels like a great evening gown. You know, you can almost constrict that. It's almost a waistline that's been, you know, broadened to make it into a seating piece. I want to have martinis with you there during market.
Yes. Absolutely.
The date, I'm in the inner hall at 4:30. How's that? Perfect. Thanks, Rachel. So Victoria Sanchez, the Hamilton sofa by Varellin. Tell us about this great Varellin piece.
Well, I am a big fan of Varellin. I'm a dealer here in Santa Fe, actually the only one in the state, and was very excited to be able to start working with them here. They're down Prospect, which is a little bit out of the way. They're not one of the main buildings, so you need to make a point to get down there, but it's so worth the trip. They really, they're a Belgian company. That's where they started. Their furniture's, you know, made in High Point, but their aesthetic is it's elegant, it's chic, it's simple. The comfort is crazy. And I love this Hamilton sofa. It started off as a sectional. Then there were cries for a sofa. And a lot of the Varellin pieces, you'll have one frame, and then it can come in a chair. It can come in what they call a condo sofa, an extra large sofa, sectional. So you can fall in love with the frame and play with it in a bunch of ways. But, you know, it's funny because pretty much all of us here have curves, as we have talked about. So here's another curved piece. I like the simplicity of no back cushions, no seat cushions. And one might think that it'd be firm, a little bit hard and rigid, but the way that they construct their furniture is so comfortable. And they do use some sustainable products in their production. It just really spoke to me. I think it's very glamorous and elegant, but also throw a linen on it and it's just really casual. I just love it.
Yeah, they're a great source. Thank you so much for selecting that. We're going to move on to lighting now, and I just want to let everyone know we're at 2:41. So on this next slide, let's move a little more quickly through the comments so that we can try to get to one more category. So Shay, I'll hand it back to you.
Sure. So first up, we have the Monroe semi-flush mount from Palachek. Victoria, this is fantastic. What drew you to that piece?
I think it's, well, it just, I don't know, it's fun, right? It's really fun, but we could use it in so many different parts of our country. I just thought it was adorable. It's named Monroe. This is a fun fact. It was inspired by Marilyn Monroe's curls. So now that we know that, I mean, you can just see it. It's made of little wooden beads, and each each one, they're all wired, right? So they're strung on the wires, and then they're wrapped in that circular form around the base. So everyone's going to be slightly different. If you're familiar with pallet check, a lot of organic materials are used, not just in their furniture, but their light fixtures too. So anyhow, I just thought it was super fun. There are other pieces similar to this one in their collection. And I don't know, isn't it fun? It makes me smile.
It's a beautiful choice, beautiful choice. So Rachel Cannon, Hudson Valley Lighting is one of my favorite brands. What drew you to this? Is it a sconce? I guess I'm looking at a sconce, right?
It's a sconce, and they're one of my favorite lighting brands too. I always feel like it's my responsibility to help clients sort of think beyond basics in their homes. So they know they need overhead lighting and they need lamps, and sconces are just vastly underused. So when we have the opportunity to work with them from their floor plans through installation, I always try to find an opportunity to incorporate wall sconces because sometimes they just work better. So if we go back to that concept of the quiet room, I think that's a perfect spot to use a sconce like this. It's very understated. You could dim the lights and just have the sconces on, and it really creates this atmosphere that you don't really have an opportunity. I sort of hate overhead lights. When my dad comes to my house, he like and fumbles around like he can't see where he's going because I hate an overhead light. So I love sconces for that very reason. And it's usually one of the first things I do when I'm working in a floor plan is I just look for the opportunity to use a sconce. And this one just spoke to me. It's clean, it's soft, it's pretty. Again, we're seeing that curve that's in so many of the pieces that we all spotted this year. And I just loved it.
Such a great point too. I think that lighting in general is like jewelry for your home. And this is definitely one of those pieces that could really make a room. So great find, Rachel. Gina, wall sconce by Mitzi. Yvonne, this is another great wall sconce. Tell us about what drew this particular piece to your design eye.
We love this piece because we don't always get the opportunity to add wall sconces because it might mean hiring an electrician, upping the budget, repairing holes in the walls. So what we loved about this was you can plug it in, and then on the top part, you can hang it anywhere. And it frees up nightstand space or any counter space, like a buffet or just very clean, but it could still be very unique. It looks a little bit like a lantern. So it has a whimsical, playful feel that goes with, adds an accent to any space. We really loved it.
Very, very, very cool. It kind of reminds me of an earring a little bit. I love that. It was a beautiful,
it's a perfect jewelry piece, yes. And it's available in chrome, in black, and in this brass. So it can go with any style. It's really versatile. We loved it.
Beautiful.
Very cool. So next, Rachel Moriarty, we have the Waves pendant by another fabulous lighting manufacturer, Hubbardton Forge. So tell us about this piece.
I love this piece. I live in San Diego, and so I'm always kind of trying to reimagine what modern coastal looks like. I have bachelor clients, male clients, and like me, I am an introvert like Rachel Cannon, but I'm an introvert in kind of an extrovert world. I like things a little bolder. So this to me really spoke to me. It's got light and dark. It's forged, but there's like this fluidity to it that just really spoke to me. And I could see it, on, either coast or in an industrial space. I just thought it was really, really cool.
So true, so true. Okay, so the Dunn floor lamp by Arteriors, Don Ricardo, another super sexy piece.
It's tall, dark, and handsome like me. I just think it's so sleek and slim and simple, but then it's a little over 7 feet tall, and so it commands attention. A lot of times with a tripod floor lamp, you may not have a lot of space to, use it. This kind of slim base can slide right up under a end chair or end table, and I think it's just awesome to be able to command that much attention and be so slim and simple. It comes in another finish. This is the bronze. And then also the little finial there. There's a little pitch at the tip that just gives it a little bit of detail that I like. So I think they've done a good job with it. I love it.
Such a great piece. And Gary, I apologize. I think I threw us off just a bit because that shade goes so far up onto that top row.
Well, it's tall, dark, and handsome. I'm going to remember that forever. So.
Will you pick up on Nancy Fire's selection?
Absolutely. Nancy, I love this globe, so tell us about it.
So again, sustainability. So on my Instagram, I really focus on sustainability. And this piece speaks to me because it's universal. And I work with so many different clients building their brands. And we do look for universal pieces because the audience is so vast and so big. So this piece spoke to me because the globe is artisan blown. So no two are alike, which I love. And then there's chrome and brass at the top, and that also patinas over time. So it just gives it a very natural, sustainable, you know, kind of sexy way to bring sustainability into your home.
I love living finishes. So that's, it's life. It brings life into the space.
Absolutely.
And artistry as well. That's a really simple, but very lovely and thoughtful selection. Thank you.
I think there's a little bit of elegance to that.
I agree. I agree. So let's look at Curry and Company, their Circus floor lamp. Joanna, tell us about that piece.
I mean, this is always one showroom that I can never miss. I love Curry and Company. I could spend hours
in the best.
Their space, truly hours. But I was drawn to this lamp because I'm like forever in love with a mix of wood and brass. And I feel like this lamp is a really wonderful balance of the two with it has a subtle elegance and a little bit of handsome detailing that I think would make it perfect for being next to a reading chair, that kind of thing.
I love the almost Art Nouveau feel of it. It just seems to just rise out of the earth. It's really elegant. Really a lovely selection. Thank you so much. And one more piece from Curry. Gita, tell us about this piece. I love this lamp.
Yes, and I concur with Joanna. So I love Curry and Company as well. And so I'm representing the table lamps. So I love this lamp because of its timeless elegance and its subtle, neutral beauty. It's, you know, it has this amazing, just natural burlap empire-shaped lampshade, and I love an empire-shaped lampshade. You can never go wrong with that. The brass detailing, and we cannot forget the base. The base is actually a matte bisque finish, but it's a terracotta clay. And I love just that natural element. It's kind of hard to tell on this, but it has kind of like pressed circle or raised dots all over the lamp shade, and then it's fired to this kind of sandy finish. So I just think it would, you know, look beautiful, you know, on a console or a buffet. You know, it could be used in a foyer. It just brings a bit of that earthen and natural look to a space, which I think we're seeing more of these days.
I liked the way they blended the organic with the shade and the more sort of elegant, polished, you know, fashion for the base. Really, all of these are so beautiful. I'm struck by all of these wonderful, graceful, sinuous lines in the lighting and also in the upholstery and even in the case goods. It's really, there's a very cohesive story emerging from this. So you guys have done an amazing job.
Thank
you. So we're going to move to the next slide. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to run over today, and we hope everyone will stay with us. We're going to keep going. We've got 2 more slides to go through, and we're just going to talk very, very briefly about these, and then keep going. So Shay.
Yeah, let's make this a little bit of a challenge. So when we go through, maybe give us like 3 words to describe the piece that you picked and why.
Perfect.
So it's 3 descriptive words. So Rachel Moriarty, your first one, the Be Outspoken Art Hide Rug. Give us 3 descriptive words for that.
Bold, functional art. But it could be a rug or it could be a wall piece, just to note.
100%. Okay, so Nancy Fire, the prestige arts trends.
I would say organic, flowing, and zen.
I love the color combination on that piece. It's so,
Pretty.
so cool. Okay, Don Ricardo, the Juju hat by Accent Touch. Are you there? Oh, unmute yours. There you go.
I would say beautiful, global, and textured. I love these.
So cool. The color is so vibrant too. Great selection. Okay, Yvonne, the Casey mirror by Made Goods.
Oh, it's so hard. Useful, woven, and texture.
I love it. I love it. Okay, and then last on the top row, we have the Belgian Fauta and Pillow by Lebecca Incorporated. Joanna, tell us why you picked that piece.
Unexpected color palette, linen, and stripes are always a good idea.
Love it. Awesome.
Agreed. Kita, I love the blue. You know, we're all in love with blue. Tell us about the vases you selected.
Okay, so my 3 words would be vintage collected, handcrafted, and blue lapis.
Lovely. Those are really beautiful, and Schwam has great things.
Yes.
Rachel Cannon, tell us about the painting.
My words, I'm going to use 4. Introverts also love color.
That sums it up beautifully. That's great. Victoria Sanchez, Kimono Man, Kimono Woman. I love it.
3 words. Large scale, that's a hyphen, so that's 1. Large scale, zen, and timeless.
Perfect. And a little provocative, a little naughty. Great, thanks.
Your addition.
Okay, we have one more slide. Let's go to that and do the same thing. This is perfect.
Yeah.
So these are favorites pulled from your boards. So Shay.
Yeah, so starting with the Gustavian chest of drawers. Okay, those are fabulous. 3 words to describe those.
Oh, 3 words. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I don't know. Beautiful. You cannot see it, but the hand finished and collected again.
Fantastic choice. Love those. Okay, so Rachel Cannon, Theodore Alexander, drink table.
Sexy, suggestive, lighthearted.
Love it. And then we have the Star Dune Bed by Beach Boy Furniture. Joanna, give us 3 words to describe why you picked this as one of your spots.
I have 4, too cool for school. And it's fully modular, so it's amazing.
Very cool. I love the color too. Okay, so Nancy Fire, the shale vases.
I love those. Organic, creative, and imperfect.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect. I love that.
Okay, so Rachel, the Ardmore Sable limited edition sofa, Tanzanite by Nagala Trading.
Yes. I'm going to say global, vibrant, bohemian glam.
Perfect. I love how animated it is. It's a great piece. And Yvonne, tell us about the Roxbury console from E.J. Victor.
This is from Kelly Wessler. And love it. Geometric, bold, and sexy.
Totally agree. Really spectacular. Don Ricardo Massenburg, tell us about your runaway.
I'm going to say sexy and statement. And I'm going to break the rules a little bit because when I look at the bolsters on here, I just see marshmallows and I just want to take a handful and make s'mores, but I just love this piece. It's a statement for sure. I love Baker.
It is so unique. I love that. That's a great choice. And Victoria, you'll finish us up with the Shipipo fabric from Design Legacy.
Yes, global. Shipibo is a group of Indians in Peru. So global, organic, and then Design Legacy offers it customizable. So global, organic, customizable.
Wonderful. Beautiful pieces, extraordinary pieces. So I think we have time for a few questions from the audience. Can we try to do that?
We can. So if you guys see, there's a Q&A window on part of your Zoom. If you have questions you'd like to ask the Style Spotters, you can just type them in right there. and we can let them, I know I see some of y'all have posted some in the actual chat, so I might just scroll back up through there and while y'all are typing your questions. Okay, so the first one we just got in, who makes the boho reflection globe that Nancy picked? Nancy Fire, can you answer that? The pendant?
Yes, I sure can. So it's by Boho Intriguing Object. It is by Boho. The reflection, that's the name of the company. I'm sorry, Bobo, B-O-B-O. Yeah.
Okay, and then, okay, we're getting lots of questions about sharing the slides in the presentation for after the webinar. Ashley, do you want to touch on that really fast?
Yes, we are recording this today, so everybody will receive this recording as a link afterwards.
Perfect. Okay.
Shay, we're getting lots of comments on your beautiful living room. And I love your rug as well. I noticed that one. I wanted to point out in the background behind Shay, you'll see this gorgeous orchid. And when we talked about accessories, I meant to mention that Shay does these extraordinary orchids that I love to use in projects.
Oh,
it looks like it was made by God. It was actually made by Shay Gear. So,
yes, it's our collection for Botanical Mix. The orchids are 3D printed, so they look and feel lifelike. So thank you for that, Gary.
and they will be in High Point in October again.
Yes, we will. Absolutely. And we're shipping now. So if you need those for your projects, there's that little plug for some life and beauty for your projects. Okay, so a lot of people asking your favorite room in your home or favorite room to create for clients. So everybody, just maybe two of y'all jump in and answer that question.
Powder room. We love designing powder rooms. That's that spot where your guests are by themselves and they're kind of scoping everything out. And it really is where you can exaggerate the concept of the home. So I think that's a place.
Be outrageous, yeah.
Yeah, that's something unexpected. It's something where we can take a little bit more risk.
I'd say bedrooms. Bedrooms are my favorite because everybody forgets about themselves, the parents, and that's where we all need a break to pull away and invest some money in luxury and comfort.
Outdoor living spaces are my favorite. I love the texture. I love the color. I love that people just getting on the other side of that window or that glass get a lot more expressive and bold and vibrant.
And I want to say I agree with Rachel. I mean, outdoor spaces to me are key, but I also love when the outdoor space sort of joins with that living space indoor. So you get that indoor-outdoor, like sustainable living. Perfect.
I love designing living rooms. I think it just, living rooms, family rooms, great rooms. I just think it gives you an opportunity to layer and bring in the texture and color and draperies and the full shebang. So that's one of my favorites.
For me, it's bedrooms. I would say I'm good in the bedroom. Lush layered bedding, textiles. I just love making them comfortable at home. So bedrooms for me.
Oh,
I'm the same way. I love doing a bedroom. Ours has some of my favorite wallpaper that was designed by my good friend Rebecca Atwood and my absolute favorite vintage piece. So for me, it's our bedroom that I designed that has pretty much all of my favorite things in it.
Oh.
I would say quiet rooms. It's a new idea and I'm so on board. I like the idea of the bedroom as the retreat, but not everybody wants to go lie down in bed to get away. And so I like this idea of another smaller private space where you can go and just recharge at the end of the day or before the day.
so it looks like we're getting a lot of questions about art. So how do you guys source your art, or do you have, like, on the manufacturer side, but maybe also throw out a little shout out for your favorite either a local artist or an artist that you see in High Point that you just can't miss, whether it's originals or G Clays. Let's talk about art.
So when I go to High Point, I actually stay with one of my really amazing friends who is a ceramicist. She's Sweet One Studio. Her name's Lindsay Emery, and she makes some of the most amazing ceramic pieces. I have them all over my home. But I also, when I'm looking for like paintings or prints, I have a very small collection that I've hoarded over the years of vintage pieces that I'm just constantly pulling from.
Very cool.
That's great.
I love bold abstract art in San Diego. I am in with a community of artists, but I'm going to mention Anne Galumbach, and she also has a license with Left Bank, so you can get her there.
Ah, perfect.
And I get a lot of my art from Prestige Trends, Art Trends, because I like organic again. So I bring a lot of the outdoors, indoors through the art that I work with them on.
Natural
like to work with
curiosities
local
is good for
galleries.
that, Nancy, as well.
I like to
didn't
work
mean
with
to
local
interrupt.
galleries. It just source as many local artists as you can, especially now. You know, they're
Yes.
in the same boat as all of us. So if you can support local artists, really anytime, that's a great idea.
Yes, I agree with Rachel. I mean, a lot of my clients they either have their own collections. I mean, I do encourage people because I think art is very personal. You know, unless it's for staging or something, I think that art should be either purchased through a curator, or, I mean, I have no problem suggesting galleries or local artists, but that's just, you know, my opinion on that.
And a lot of the trends, I feel that it's going more towards texture. Like our clients are calling us to use art as a source of kind of a three-dimensional piece, not necessarily is it an abstract or is it a figurative piece, but it's also, it can be, Made Goods has some great ones, Palachek has some really beautiful ones. Ricardo has an art piece behind him right now. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's framed and on the wall. We're finding it more as an opportunity to add.
I so agree. Absolutely.
Yes, like the hide rug. I believe, Rachel, you spotted it. That could be also used as a wall hanging. I thought that was a great idea too. And so another question, lots of color questions. So people are saying obviously blue is trending because it's the color of the year. But what other colors are you guys either getting requests from clients? And then also as you look through things to spot for style spotters, did you see any sort of colors besides blue just really standing out?
I just wanted to say, like, for me, the warm tones. So we're seeing all the terracotta tones, the tones of tangerines and corals working together. So the tonalities of warmth coming in, which I love.
And green.
Yeah.
Lots of green.
Yeah.
And red. Red, we saw a lot of red too. But I think the grays are pulling back as we're rejoicing in vibrant colors, which makes me happy.
It's exciting to see the vibrant colors. Curry and Company has these incredible emerald green cut glass pieces that are just epic. I don't know what the pricing is yet, but they look like they would be baccarat and, you know, be just outrageous, but just beautiful cut work as well. The color though was stunning.
They look like candy almost.
They do. You do exactly. That's just amazing. Intensity.
Yeah. Very highly saturated colors. You're right.
A lot of people have asked about the future as well. So if anyone wants to say something briefly about what they see as the trend for next year, I think a lot of people are wondering how the current situation that we all find ourselves in is changing perhaps what we value and our taste, and how will this pandemic really impact the way we live our lives, and how will design respond to that. Did you see any hints of that in your review of market?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think that home is back, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the home is going to be
the home.
The home is going to be the hub of everything. We're going to learn how, you know, right now I'm learning to do my own beauty rituals and shave my own hair, and you know, I think the entryways are going to be a big thing. Our entryway has changed, how we enter the house, what we do when we enter the house, how we put things away, and, you know, sanitize. Home office workspaces and study spaces are going to be huge.
I agree with Rachel. I think the entry to the home is going to become huge, because I don't know where all of you are located, but here there's this plague of open floor plans where you walk straight into the living room, kitchen, dining room, and it's just this huge echo chamber. And I honestly think after this, we're going to start to define an entry, and we're going to start to define spaces with walls, actually, which walls are not a bad thing. Everybody thinks that and they want to knock them all down. And I think after spending all of this time at home together, people are realizing, like, maybe I don't love my family that much. I need some.
I actually spotted on my Pinterest boards, there's a couple of things you can partition there was a wood partition that I did and a shelving unit that you can use and do desks on either side just to create space and niche some space out. I think Rachel's exactly right.
There's some beautiful screens for that effect. We use them in high-end hospitality a lot. When you've got a larger space and open space, you can create these really kind of seductive precincts by using beautiful screens, and they can be cut in these incredible patterns. So I think there may be some of that as well. Nancy, you were about to say something as well.
You know, I agree. I think that entrance ways, I think every room is going to be important because people want sort of products with personality. So they're looking for each room to sort of evoke a different feeling and mood. So I feel that a lot of my clients are saying simplicity. I want less, but I want the right elements in my home. So it's exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of personalization going forward. People really caring about what products are going into their homes, which I think will make it easier to work with some clients because I think that they might really know what they want going forward a little bit more. So it's exciting. I think it's going to be an exciting time for the home. And I feel optimistic. I do.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be this continued push towards comfort.
Yes.
But elegant comfort, but you know, something that's cocooning and, you know, like Dawn said earlier, that just feels like it gives you a huge hug. Because I think right now we're seeking that in an uncertain time. We're seeking that comfort and love and, you know,
cozy
and coziness. Yes, but still stylish. Yeah. And I'm hoping that this movement or this, you know, fast fashion and buying things that are disposable and that don't last very long, I'm hoping that tends to, it's like, it's destroying the earth, it's destroying you know, so I'm hoping that people just invest in quality, and, you know, just invest in what you can afford, but quality and artisan pieces.
Right.
Yes, I was about to say maker culture, I feel like is one of the big, wonderful things that's happening. Is really celebrating local artisans, but also when we go to market, there are lots of great sources there for antiques and for artisan-made pieces. Someone used Design Legacy, Victoria, that fabric. You know, I think of them for artisan-made goods, so hopefully we'll see that continue as well.
Yes, that's right. And invest in the right pieces and you'll only cry once, right? So, so this has been so fun. And thank you for everybody that joined us today. We have a few closing remarks. We are so grateful that you guys are all here and adapted with us to this new platform since we can't see all of your beautiful faces in person in High Point. We miss you guys all so much. We wish great success to all of our manufacturers. Please take the time to go check out all of the style spotters. So you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Pinterest. If you look back at High Point's actual Instagram, you'll see all of these individuals are tagged. So please go show them some love. If you have further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to them. So Gary, you want to talk more on our sponsor?
Sure, and of course we want to thank our sponsor, Studio Designer. If you're not already, be sure that you are following all the team members here, High Point Market, Studio Designer on social media, so that we can continue to share information and stories. You can find details for the team on the Style Spotters hub page of the highpointmarket.org via the products and trends section of the website.
And you can also find the Pinterest board for High Point at pinterest.com/highpointmarket to see all the products that we discussed today and all the spots for our team. And we will also be generating the style report that's written by all of our style spotters that will be coming out later this summer, and you'll get to see a little glimpse at some upcoming trends, and those will also be coming out in just a few weeks.
And of course, we absolutely cannot wait to see you all again in High Point in October. I think we all missed April so very much, and I hope you'll come there. But also remember that all these great manufacturers that we've been celebrating today, they're all shipping goods. And so they'll take your orders now. Don't wait till October. Keep ordering. Let's keep our industry strong and alive. You will continue to receive emails from High Point Market about the upcoming market and the latest news. And we just are so thrilled with what you presented today and thrilled to have you as members of the Style Spotter team. So thank you all so very much.
Yes, thank you, Style Spotters. Thank you, audience. And we look forward to seeing y'all in October.
Thank
Thank
you, guys.
you.
This is great.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.